I saw you went to UFC 245. You were like there. How was that?
Yeah, dude.
In Vegas
Dude,
with fans.
dude, I saw it. I'm glad that you saw it. Dude, that was so awesome, bro. My brother took me for my birthday. Um, it was dude, the card was insane. It was Usman
Martin.
Covington. Usman Covington was the main event, which was one of the most banger fights I've ever seen, like anytime. So I got to see it in person. We also like we wanted to sit close. So my brother, he's a patent attorney, like he's balling out. So he's like, we're sitting close. So he got some nice tickets. Plus we know a person that lives out in Vegas, so we got kind of like free room and board. But yeah, dude. So I went and it was co-main event was Holloway, Volkanovski, and then there was three title fights. It hadn't been three title fights on a same card in like 5 years. Amanda Nunes fought what's her name, the Iron Lady, Jermaine Durandamine. Yeah, and dude, it was so awesome. I like watching sports. Like I've been to NBA games; they're pretty fun. Baseball is pretty cool. It's not like super interesting to me. Football games are fun, but it's hard for me to watch football games in person because I just want to play, so that I get pissed off. But dude, UFC, like, cause it just reminds me of being in wrestling tournaments in high school, and like I love UFC is my MMA is my favorite sport to watch, hands down. I love the UFC, and just being able to go there, dude, it was so sick. Like I got to see Joe Rogan, like just like up close, like him walking by, like it was just everything you would expect, and the fights were insane. And the craziest thing was like it was pre-election and everything, so all the Colby fans are huge Trump supporters, and there were a bunch of Usman fans who were like the opposite. And dude, after that fight, there were so many fights in the crowd that were breaking out, and like, dude, that place is just rowdy. And the UFC fans are crazy. Like, you're
Yeah.
talking to everyone in your row, and they're just like, beat his ass, yeah. Like people are just going crazy, and like, dude, it was so cool to watch. And it's
Mm.
like you can see the brutality on TV, but in person,
Oh
seeing
my.
someone just get like knocked out, it's like, oh my goodness, it's so exciting. Like I want to go all the time. I probably could do maybe one a year, but yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it was sick.
Yeah.
You're a big UFC fan?
I am. Yes. That's why I saw it and I was like, that's insane. And I live in Vegas, so like, the cool thing
Oh
about
yeah, dude.
UFC too is that not only is like a modern day gladiator kind of thing, but it's also like that was like Vegas's kind of sport before like boxing
Mhm.
too, but before we got like the Golden Knights and now the Raiders. Like we didn't really
Yeah.
have it besides like the UFC was always there. So like we always like me and my friends would always like put on the fights and everything. Like I think the first fight that I really watched, I mean, this isn't obviously a UFC fight. Maybe it was Conor McGregor before, but I watched like the first fight was my senior year of high school. I really watched like I really got into was the boxing match between Floyd and McGregor. So that I
Mm.
really got into that, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then I think it was like a UFC fight a card the week after that or the weekend after that, and I watched that, and then I got really big into UFC. So I try to
Mm.
watch the cards every single time they're out. But yeah, I think that's insane going. I can't imagine what it's like to like. I mean, I don't know how close you're saying, but basically to see like hit someone, like see someone get hit like that close with like, because they're professionals, you know, like you can see two kids fight and it's cool. I mean, but it's not like seeing two professionals like beat the living shit out of each other. Excuse my French, you know?
Yeah, dude, it's insane. It really goes to show how intense that sport is and how unique it is. And one of the things I love about it is, like you said, it's like the gladiator type thing. But the coolest thing to me, which is what makes it so interesting, is the fact that it's so global. Like it's which style from what corner of the earth like will beat them all. You know, you got this crazy Australian guy versus this brilliant jiu-jitsu Rio de Janeiro master, like facing off. Like any type of Bruce Lee movie you could ever, like, I love Bruce Lee movies. So it's like that's why I've always loved the UFC. It's like, where can we find the craziest people from all around the globe and put them together and see who's really the best, what really works the best. And it's just so, if you really think of it, like strip away the names or anything, like a Connor versus Khabib, it's a crazy Irish dude who's amazing at like boxing versus a disciplined Russian dude who wrestles bears. Like throw him into a cage and see what happens. Like it's just so nuts. There's no other sport like that.
No, because even boxing, I was trying to explain to someone during I think it was my girlfriend or something. We were watching the Mike Tyson fight last week. I don't know if you did.
Yeah, I watched.
But it was like
The boy Jake Paul.
Yeah, I actually met Jake Paul. Interesting enough, at
Really? Yeah, I was just I met him too a couple weeks ago.
That's awesome. I met
Yeah,
him.
we filmed with him.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
So I just met him for a couple of seconds because like during the summers, I usually work at, I'm not going to anymore, but I work at Lake Las Vegas Water Sports, and he came out there a couple times just to like goof around, I guess.
That's cool.
And so I met him, like, I think he was doing flyboard, which is like the jetpack kind of thing with the water skis and like, puts them up.
Oh, I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah. I mean, you can go out to the lake during the summer. But I digress. But yeah, I was trying to explain to her, I was like, boxing's like an art. Like all sports are like arts. So like you pick one thing and you really get really skilled at it, and you like, and it's like an art, you know, like you're only using your hands. You're not really like, you're trying to knock them out, but you're trying to like, you're like, it's like a fight. It's like an art. And then you get to the UFC and it's like mania. Like you practice on something you're like really good at, like whether it's wrestling, like you have your background, but like anything can happen, you know. Obviously you can't hit people in the back of the head and stuff like that, or like they stop the fight when you're on top, but like, you know, it's like all like you don't know how you're gonna get knocked out or how you're gonna knock out someone. It's all hell breaks loose. Like, yeah, there's art forms, but it's not like there's nothing like it, because it's just like it's like if you put like a little jar of two different ants and you shake it and then you see what happens, except with
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, boxing is the sport of punching, and then MMA is a sport of fighting, really.
Yeah. I like that.
It's really interesting to see how it all pans out. And being a wrestler, I didn't wrestle in college, but in high school I wrestled, and it was something I really loved. It's cool to be able to see implementations of that as well, just as a fan of a sport that I can kind of relate to. But yeah, dude, just seeing that all mixed together, and the thing I